All right, before we get into the analysis, just a brief background on Mr. Bryan Johnson. He's an entrepreneur and a longevity enthusiast. So it's 47 years old in 2024, but his biological age is much younger. I believe he's in his probably 20s. I could be wrong on that, but he has spent $2 million per year on various things to help him to improve his longevity, including supplements, lifestyle, nutrition, workout routines, a team of specialists, doctors, nutritionists. So he has mentioned areas of his life that he has improved, and he practices the 18-6 intermittent fasting method, which I also have been practicing over the past 3 years. That means you eat for 6 hours and you fast for 18 hours. And some of the benefits that I experience from practicing this intermittent fasting method is I feel like I have more energy throughout the day. Surprising, a lot of people might be thinking you don't eat that much, so you probably might not get that much energy. But no, I feel more energized. I feel more refreshed after waking up from my good night's rest, and I need lesser hour of sleep compared to when I was having my 6 meal a day regularly. When I was at my peak weight of 153 kilograms, usually I have 6 meals, sometimes seven. So I needed, usually previously I needed around about 9 hours of sleep. Otherwise I feel cranky. But these days I'm good with 7 hours, sometimes 6.5 hours. I just automatically wake up without an alarm clock, and I feel fresh and energized. So, and also I realized that my muscles are more toned, probably due to the reduced body fat percentage, because of burning up more calories than I consume due to the intermittent fasting technique. All right, but the difference between my intermittent fasting method and his is he really looks out for the calorie intake. I believe he consumes about 1,950 calories, but I do not really count the calories. So I just eat whatever that I feel I want to eat. So I listen to my body wants and gives it whatever it wants. But at the same time, I still avoid fatty and fried food. Mainly, I eat grilled stuff, and as far as possible, I eat more of a vegetarian diet. A lot of potatoes and a lot of beans, red beans, green beans, black glutinous rice, brown rice, blue pea, butterfly rice. So let's just take a look at his body language, about how he's so enthusiastic about his lifestyle and the trainings and experimenting that he's been undergoing. And let's see the excitement of some of the benefits that he has derived and how eager he is to share with the rest of the world.
You believe that?
Oh, there's no question.
It's hard to believe tech millionaire Bryan Johnson is 46 years old, but no matter his chronological age, he's striving for the biological age of an 18.
So the chronological age is someone's age of existence. Let's say you have had 40 birthdays, you're 40 years old. The biological age is how old your cells are. We all age differently due to our lifestyle. We have different diets, different ways of coping with stress, environmental factors. So our cells, we can be the same age as our biological age and our chronological age, or it can be very different depending on your lifestyle, your diet, your environmental factors, your food intake.
Biological age of an 18-year-old. His team of 30
So
doctors
he was
utilize
46 and has a biological age of 20. So he shaved off more than half of his chronological age. So quite amazing. Let's listen to his
Doctors utilize all the latest tech. The plan is rigorous. It's actually really hard.
Yeah, it is. And it burns really fast.
At $2 million a year, a life like this is out of reach for almost everyone.
And this is what I take on a daily basis of supplements. It's alphabetized, and we have a year's supply of everything we do.
It's part of his quest to live forever, which he believes may happen in our lifetime.
And what I've shown is for the very first time, we could potentially think about ourselves improving at the speed of technology.
On this day at his home.
So you see the way that he explains, again, usually when you explain something, you're passionate, you're confident, you're assured, and you want to come across as honest and upfront. Open palm gesture, which is what he's doing, and he's also demonstrating, like on one hand this and on the other hand that. Let's just have a look.
On this day at his home in Los Angeles, he lets us into his pricey routine and his excitement for the future of the human race.
I'm the first human to opt into an algorithm that takes better care of me than I can myself.
He calls his all-encompassing protocol Project Blueprint.
Blueprint was born out of trying to fix my own problems, but then taking care of my family, my kids and my parents, my friends.
It's generated a steady churn of shock headlines. He once injected himself with his son's plasma.
I mean, the way that happened is my dad is now 70. One day we were talking on the phone. I said, Dad, also there's these plasma exchanges people have been doing that have shown some evidence that is potentially helpful for people with cognitive decline. Now, it's still experimental. It's not ironclad yet. But if you want to try it, I'd be more than willing to offer you my plasma.
So we're talking about his son overhearing it and offering his plasma, but it's his open palm gesture, eye contact with the interviewer, and there's a social smile. So social smile differentiate from the Duchenne smile, which is like smile of full enjoyment. So he's being very sociable. Just a slight gap between the upper and lower lip, not showing the teeth too much. You don't see the wrinkles at the side of the eyes to show pure Duchenne or spontaneous smile, but mainly a social one that you come across as sociable and pleasant, not the full powerful smile.
My plasma. And my son overheard the conversation. He's like, Dad, I'm in. So he did it knowing full well what he was doing.
Just take note of his feet. When you have your feet opened up like that.
Now, it's still experimental. It's not ironclad yet. But if you want to try it, I'd be more than willing to offer you my plasma. And my son overheard the conversation. He's like, Dad, I'm in. So he did it knowing full well what he was doing.
Right. So you look at his legs. When you have your feet apart, so it's like an open body gesture. So you're open, you're not closed up, you're not defensive. The moment you have your arms crossed or your feet crossed, it's more of a defensive and closed up gesture. So when you're being interviewed or when you want to come across as more open, you have an open gesture. Do not cross your arms, do not put your arms in your pockets, and do not cross your feet or cross your legs.
So he did it knowing full well what he was doing.
He recognizes how insane this all sounds.
The perceptions people have about Blueprint and me are all wrong. They think I live in a cage. They think that I'm somehow deprived of joy. They think that somehow I just don't understand their joy of pizza and donuts. They think I don't.
You notice that his eyes momentarily moves to his left. When you move to your left, you're recalling. So he's recalling. When he looks nearer to his ear, means recalling auditory, recalling things that people have said about him that relating to his lifestyle and what they think about him. So he's recalling. So he's not making things up, but he's really recalling. If he's making things up, he will look on his right? So he's looking on his left. So he's recalling, remembering, being honest, right?
Their joy of pizza and donuts. They think I don't understand, but I do. I understand all of it. I've been where that person's at.
Do you eat pizza and donuts?
I don't. And you know what? They sound awful to me. Like, it would make me feel sick, and I would feel miserable for 24 hours.
He wasn't always this happy or this rich. Growing up in a modest Mormon household in Utah, at 21, he returned from a mission trip to Ecuador and came back with one goal in mind.
The only thing I wanted to do with my life was trying to improve the human race.
And so you set out on that mission?
I said, okay, I'm going to make a goal and make a whole bunch of money by the age of 30. With money, you can mobilize things more effectively versus having to ask people permission.
You notice that when he was speaking about his ability or his plan to raise money before he becomes 30, his eyebrows raised a little bit. Means he got excited about that, thinking about his goal that he achieved in the end. You know, when you speak to somebody or you see somebody and you smile with your eyebrows raised, so you're genuinely excited to see that particular person. It's like your whole face, what they mean by your whole face lighting up. You're excited. Wow. It might not be so prominent, but some people you can see a prominent raising of the eyebrow. For his case, yes, excited. Oh, I've achieved my goal of becoming a millionaire before the age of 30. Let's have a listen.
For what they would want to do in the world.
So how did you make it happen?
I just started building companies. I then bought Venmo, and we got bought for just under $1 billion in 2013.
I read that you were really unhappy during that time.
I was born into a religion that's very tight-knit. It's basically, it consumes your entire identity. And then I got married, I had children, I was doing a startup, and those worlds kind of just combined. So the lack of sleep and the grind on a startup created some depression, which then deepened when I was having an existential crisis with my religion, which then having...
So again, if you look there are occasions where he closes his eyes and a bit longer than regularly, not just a regular blink, closes his eyes for a couple of seconds, recalling certain events that made him feel stressed out. The times when he had problems with his partner, with his whole lifestyle. So when somebody and something causes you a bit of stress, you might momentarily close your eyes for a couple of seconds to block out that natural reaction.
Having problems with my partner.
How did you get yourself out of that?
When I was 34 years old, in 1 year's time, I sold my company. My marriage ended. I left the church and I went off to remap my whole existence.
Welcome to the future. Caution may cause loss of age. As we enter Bryan's clinic,
this uses multispectral imaging, and then it generates 10 data points on your skin health.
We see a room full of high-tech, hospital-grade gear, chosen to measure his progress and hopefully help turn back the hands of time. But Bryan believes it's not about what you start doing, it's what you stop.
Instead of doing something positive, stop the negative. So instead of trying to choose a supplement that you want to take, stop going to bed late or stop skipping exercise. So oftentimes, stopping is more powerful than starting.
Yeah, that's a very good advice that he gave. It's often good to stop something than to really start something. So stopping your bad habits like going to bed late and not doing exercise and or eating foods that you should not be eating. Like if you have diabetes, stop sugary food or starchy food. So good advice. And let's see what else.
Stopping is more powerful than starting.
And it's about where you may live and what you eat.
In blue zones, we're seeing people who live below the U.S. poverty line living about 10 years longer than Americans.
Author Dan Buettner has written extensively about so-called blue zones, but says that living longer doesn't have to be so complicated.
We know, for example, people who eat beans. Beans are the cheapest food at the grocery store, live about 4 years longer than people who don't eat beans.
So what he's mentioning is that you do not have to go through like a $2 million a year kind of lifestyle and having a team of specialists in order to achieve your goal of longevity. Just simple habits, simple changes can lead to a better quality life and graceful aging. Graceful aging meaning that you live till an older age, but free from aging related illnesses, for example, like osteoporosis, diabetes, heart disease, dementia. So, just by simple tips, for example, having better quality sleep, being in the garden often, or just taking beans or food that has high nutritional values or have been proven to improve age related diseases. So it's very interesting. Look out more for Mr. Bryan Johnson. Thank you so much for watching. Have a happy and healthy day.